My baby's 15 months old, hypotonia, not progressing. Okay. I know you feel you're in services. You're not. When you have a hypotonic child, and this is just what I learned, and this is why I didn't start all this, guys. I did this to help my child. I didn't start this. This is an after. When you're working with a low-tone child, most standard modalities go after strength. Let me tell you, the reason babies are meant to do what they do at a very young age, it's size. They're babies. As they get taller and bigger, they're not going to get stronger to deal with the disadvantages of being bigger and not having the skills. So it's not that you have to work on core strength. You have to work on core movements where he doesn't even have tummy time. And so you need to go back. Please do the Fast Start program. This is why we did it. It's for these kids that are just slipping through the cracks. But medically, there's medical and there's movement. They both counteract. You have to go see an ophthalmologist. He really does not see well. He doesn't have convergence. He doesn't have that drive. He doesn't trust his vision. So he's not going to go too far. I know you said your pediatrician didn't suggest it. They're not there for that. They're there for cuts and boo-boos. They're not there for developmental. I know they mean well, and I'm not trying to diss doctors. It's not what it's about. I'm trying to get your child help. And you've got to recommend or be with people that are going to have, your back. And this is why I created this group, because people needed a place to go that had their back. Because I've been there, I've done that. And then I've done it with everybody else. So listen, the reason you don't have a proper tummy time, and I'm not trying to find fault. You're here to ask for help. When you ask for help, you're going to get it. You can't sit there and just be in tummy time like this. Even at 15 months, a baby really shouldn't be in tummy time anymore. They should be rocking and rolling, which you know that. But there's no midline, right? So a true tummy time would have been this, and it would have been a pre-crawl. But he barely went from this, and because there's no midline crawling activities that he's doing, then he's just sitting there, because again, it's a midline issue. But he's not doing midline crossing with his vision, and so he's not doing it with his body. His eyes really need to be looked at like yesterday, not tomorrow, because he's just visually impaired. I get it that he can see. He has directionality, but he's not seeing, right? There's a difference. I'm going to try to do it on my phone, right? There's a difference between me looking at you, right, and me looking at you. I'm looking towards you versus something like this where I have that convergence. And he doesn't have that. When he's moving around, you're not seeing where he can look short, right? Where you have the convergence short, and then looking long where he has a convergence long. And so that's an issue. And the practicing of independent sitting and working with him and doing all that to work on these skills so he can cross over are really important. So again, I just would go back to the tummy time skills. What you have to realize, the skills that need to be there, and you want to hold his head on this. I get it that he has head support, but we need to start synchronizing the body and these kind of little movements and something like that. But he just needs a better foundations in all his skills. If you have a better foundation, then you can move a lot easier. You don't need the strength. If you don't have good movements, you're not strong enough. It's sort of like, falling on the floor and trying to get up. You're strong enough to get up off the floor, but if you don't have the right skills and you get stiff and you can't cross midline, you're just not strong enough. You can't plank into standing. And that's really what's going down. You definitely have to go look at genetics. And I know the MRI is not scheduled to Jan. Because he's not showing signs of CP. It's showing signs of much more genetics. And because of the tone, usually if it's like, let's say, stroke in utero or some kind of birth trauma, you're going to get this stiffness that gets involved. The low tone is usually considered genetics, but that doesn't matter. We need to get him moving, and without the midline, he just can't move, and that is your number one priority. So please, I know what you don't want to hear. Go back to tummy time. He's 15 months. You probably only have to stay. That's why the fast start's there. You stay in a course for a couple of days, go to the next. But I want 2 hours a day from you, or someone in the family, and then I want a follow-up video within 2 weeks to know that he's starting to progress, because whatever you're doing now, you're not getting the progression, and he's just going to go stagnant. He's literally just going to be like, what's going on? And that input has to be there, but it has to be there from his internal movements to this outward progression. Thanks.